All right, we're on video number 2. We're still going to be in the theory book. You might hear some Ted noises because he's whining at me right now. I don't really know what he needs, but it's all good. So just ignore him, just like we do if you're here. I'd like you to look at Unit 5, which is page 22. We've done work with intervals, but we're going to start doing a little bit more kind of messing with them. Right now you pretty much learned what is a major interval, and I think we've gone through every one of them: seconds, thirds, fourths, fifths, sixths, and octaves, sevenths, and octaves. But we haven't done a lot of work with them. On page 22, you're going to be working with the fact some of them we call major and some of them we call perfect. And if you're curious as to why the fourth, the fifth, and the octave are called perfect, I'd like you to Google it and come to your lesson the next time with an answer of why we call those perfect intervals instead of major intervals. So they, on page 22, are going to ask you, they're just going up the scale. If you see, you're in the key of 1 flat on the first line, 1 sharp on the second line. I'm not going to give away what those key names are because you just worked with those, so I know you know those. These are all major keys, by the way. And then the first one should be simple, exercise 1, because you're just going second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and you're just practicing writing the note above the tonic. But then when you get on to page 23, then they're going to kind of mix them up a little bit. And they're not going to tell you what key you're in, so you're going to have to figure out, this is where oftentimes visualizing for instance, if you have, let me move the camera, hopefully this won't make you dizzy. But we are going to, like if I'm looking at the keyboard and I want to know a major third is always going to be 2 whole steps. So, for instance, if you're looking at that first, on exercise 4, the second problem, so to speak, is a third. So if I'm looking at D, I go up 1 whole step, and then it says to go to F sharp, so you can see that you have 2 whole steps. That's going to make it a major third. Unfortunately, they're not tricking you with major thirds and minor thirds right now. Not that they're going to trick you necessarily, but there is such a thing called a minor third, and we don't know those yet because this is our kind of entry level into understanding these intervals. So we're working right now on these 2 pages with harmonic intervals. That means that they're happening at the same time. If they were melodic intervals, now that exercise 6 on page 23, they do them melodically. But the rest of them, because they're up and down, well, I guess there are some melodic and some harmonic. You get a mix. If it helps you to be able to see them, for instance, you know, like on letter A on number 6, if you want to kind of pencil in above the C with the A above so that you can see them on top of each other, even though they're played or they're written melodically, you're welcome to do that. Whatever, you know, this is a workbook, so whatever you need to do to make it so that you understand. But I'd like you to work on pages 22 and 23 with the intervals. And I think a lot of that's going to be review, but I think it's good review because then we're going to take that understanding of intervals and we're going to start moving into how that applies to triads. So if you want to look ahead, you can look at page 24, but I don't really want you working on that right now just because when we start, it would be probably better to be together when we start talking about this. We're going to be applying a minor third versus a major third. And so I think it might be better if we do those together. But if you wanted to read that part, just page 24, you wouldn't need to go and do any exercises on that at this point. But just so it kind of gives you an idea of, oh, there is a major F chord and there is a minor F chord. Then we can talk about those when we're together. But try to work on these again, like I said, with the key signatures. If you have any questions on these when you're working on them, shoot me a text. And if it's during the day at school, I might not be able to get right back to you, but I will get back to you as soon as I can. Enjoy!